I don't watch a lot, I don't know.
Well, do you think, Mike, that the cars are being stolen by the employees?
I don't know. Could be anybody, I suppose. It wouldn't have to be somebody who works here.
Mike, is there anybody in the company that you would vouch for? Anybody that you know is honest and would never do anything like this?
Like I said, I come to work, I do my job. I don't know. I mean, who am I to say what someone else could do? I don't know.
Well, if the cars were not actually being stolen, Mike, and that's a possibility, why do you suppose they disappeared from the lot?
Who knows? Maybe they transferred some cars to another dealer, lost the paperwork. I don't know.
The last thing a guilty person wants to do is to offer assistance in the investigation. Their motive is to make their guilt as hard to detect as possible. Guilty people are typically not helpful, not spontaneous, and not sincere. The guilty suspect is often guarded in their verbal response to questions. They are reluctant to offer too much information when answering a question. Their responses are delivered in a carefully guarded manner, as if each question is designed to potentially trip them up. Whereas the truthful suspect is helpful, the guilty suspect is unhelpful. Typically, this individual will not narrow down the field of suspects and may even try to open up the investigation by suggesting unrealistic suspects. They're also reluctant to speculate on theories regarding the motives or method utilized to commit the crime. Many guilty suspects are unconcerned. They incorrectly believe that a truthful suspect would be calm and nonchalant during an interview. So in an effort to play this role, the guilty suspect oftentimes comes across as appearing disinterested or not worried about anything. Another common personality characteristic assumed by a deceptive suspect is being overly polite to the investigator. In some cases, the suspect may want to appear intellectual, non-social, or very macho. Because these do not represent the suspect's actual personality, he has a difficult time maintaining the facade during the interview and oftentimes comes across as insincere. A denial is a declaration that a statement is not true. And of course, both truthful and deceptive people will make denials, but the truthful person's denial is usually very easy to identify.
Dan, where were you on January 17th?
I was at home.
Did you force her to have sexual intercourse?
Absolutely not. That's crazy. I've never forced a woman to have sex in my life.
A truthful suspect's denial will immediately follow the question. It will be very strong, unequivocal, and direct. No, I didn't have anything to do with it. They don't hesitate, there's no uncertainty. Typically, the truthful person will reinforce their denial with such phrases as, never, not at all, absolutely not, because they want to make sure you know, in no uncertain terms, they didn't do it. Oftentimes, the innocent person makes broad, sweeping denials, as illustrated in this example.
Absolutely not. That's crazy. I've never forced a woman to have sex in my life.
This response is typical of a truthful person. But what happens when a guilty person denies something? Typically, you will see a delay. After the question is being asked, there is hesitation, during which the deceptive person may engage in grooming gestures. They may repeat the question because they're stalling for time. They're not sure how to answer the question, so there's typically a delay before they verbalize an answer.
Did you force her to have sexual intercourse?
Did I force her to have sex with me? Hey, I've been out of town for the last month.
In addition to delaying their response, a lot of guilty people will verbalize a denial, but it's a weak tone of voice. It's not very strong. It's apologetic. It's pleading. In fact, sometimes it's even mumbled where you can't hear their words. With some guilty people, they don't even answer the question. They just nod their head back and forth in a nonverbal activity. They don't even vocalize a response. It's easier for them to lie that way. Other guilty people tend to reinforce their denials with such phrases as, I swear to God, as God is my witness. Really, honestly, you gotta believe me. Because just saying that they didn't do it isn't strong enough, isn't convincing enough. They need help. And finally, some guilty people tend to deny their crime in very specific, narrow